There are moments in time when life itself feels suspended, as though the air thickens and the heart grows alert without knowing why. You begin to notice that ordinary days feel strangely significant, that the wind carries whispers you cannot interpret, and that your spirit, though worried by uncertainty, trembles with an awareness that something is approaching. If you are hearing these words before the 15th of October in this year, it is not by accident. You are standing in the threshold of divine preparation, a moment where heaven rearranges the unseen architecture of your days to make you ready for what eyes have not yet seen. There is a quiet stirring in the spiritual realm, and it is drawing you into alignment with a promise that has long been forming behind the veil of your comprehension. Preparation is rarely recognized when it happens. It seldom announces itself with trumpets or angelic choruses. It often disguises itself as silence, delay, confusion, or the feeling of being hidden. You may think you are forgotten, yet you are being forged. You may think your prayers echo into emptiness, but they are being stored in the chambers of eternity until the right moment, when they will be poured back into your life as manifestation. The divine does not prepare a vessel with haste. The greater the purpose, the deeper the preparation. And many have mistaken divine delay for denial, not realizing that heaven cannot entrust eternal things to untempered hearts. When you find yourself in a season where nothing seems to move, where plans unravel and strength feels thin, understand that you are in the sacred forge. The craftsman is near, though silent. The hammer that strikes is not meant to break you, but to shape you. The fire that burns is not to consume you, but to remove the residue of what cannot endure the glory that is coming. Every test, every disappointment, every closed door is part of a mysterious design meant to prepare your spirit for a greater weight of meaning than you could have carried in your former state. You are not being abandoned, you are being adjusted. There is a reason you are hearing this now, before the appointed day. The timing of revelation is never random. It is the signature of a God who writes with precision upon the timeline of creation. He knows the exact moment to awaken those who have been sleeping in routine, those who have grown weary in expectation, those who have almost let go of their hope. Before the dawn breaks, he whispers to the hearts that must be awake to receive it. You are one of those hearts. You are being prepared to witness the unfolding of something that has been maturing quietly in the chambers of time. And though your eyes cannot yet perceive it, your spirit already knows it is near. Preparation, in its divine form, is not about gaining but about losing distractions, attachments, and illusions. You may find yourself detached from people, places, and purposes that once defined you. You may not understand why what used to fulfill you now feels empty, or why the world you built with care seems to fade into irrelevance. It is because your soul is being summoned higher. The music of this world can no longer satisfy the ears of one who has begun to hear the melody of eternity. Heaven is teaching you a new language, and to learn it you must first unlearn the one that belongs to earth. You are not being punished, you are being translated. Those who are being prepared rarely feel prepared. They often feel the opposite, uncertain, unqualified, undone. This is because the process of divine preparation exposes the insufficiency of self. It removes the illusion of control and humbles the heart into a posture of surrender. Only then can the soul become a vessel of something greater than itself. The hand that prepares is both gentle and firm. It caresses the wounds of the past, even as it cuts away the remnants of pride. The divine craftsman is not building your comfort, he is building your capacity. The seasons of stripping are not evidence of loss but of pruning, for only pruned branches can bear fruit that endures beyond seasons. If you have felt isolated in recent days, if doors have closed, if relationships have faded, if your plans have dissolved into dust, you must not misread the moment. The closing of one chapter is the careful sealing of a covenant. The silence you feel is not absence. It is concentration. The divine is concentrating his work in you, aligning you with events that must soon unfold. You are being tuned to the frequency of heaven, so that when the appointed hour strikes, You will not only hear the call, but recognize it. Every moment of waiting is secretly weaving you into the tapestry of divine timing. Nothing is wasted. Before any revelation, there is preparation. Before light breaks, there is darkness. Before fulfillment, there is hunger. These are the rhythms of divine reality. The universe itself was prepared before it was spoken into being. The Spirit hovered over chaos long before the first word was uttered. So too, the Spirit hovers over you now, brooding over the chaos of your thoughts, waiting for the moment when light can safely enter without blinding you. You are not behind time. You are being synchronized with it. Some will watch this message and feel an inexplicable stirring, as though the words are not new information, but a remembrance of something their soul already knew. That is because eternity is not introducing something foreign. It is awakening what was always written within you. You are being reminded of your origin, of the covenant made before your birth, of the destiny sealed before your first breath. The preparation you are enduring is not just for what is coming, but for what you already are in the mind of the divine. When heaven prepares a person, it often begins by unsettling them. Old comforts are disturbed. Familiar paths are obscured. The soul is drawn into a wilderness where the only voice that remains is the one that cannot be heard by human ears. The wilderness is not punishment, it is purification. It strips away the noise until all that is left is truth. And in that silence, you will come to see that every loss was an invitation, every delay was protection, and every unanswered prayer was the shaping of a vessel too precious to be rushed. Do not mistake preparation for stagnation. What looks motionless is often pregnant with movement. Seeds do not sprout the day they are planted. They rest beneath the soil unseen, while the sun and rain and time do their hidden work. You are that seed. What feels like burial is actually germination. The pressure, the darkness, the waiting, it is all the necessary atmosphere for resurrection. The soil must press against the seed for it to break open. And so too, your trials are pressing you into transformation. You are being prepared not just for a moment, but for a mission. The days leading to October 15th are not random. They are prophetic. Something in this timeline requires your awareness, your readiness, your consecration. The divine is not simply changing your circumstances, he is changing your capacity to perceive. You are being tuned to see what others will miss, to discern what others dismiss. The preparation you endure now will make sense only when revelation arrives, and by then, you will know that every hardship was a holy rehearsal for glory. There is a peculiar ache that settles in the heart when heaven seems silent. It is the ache of one who has prayed earnestly, waited faithfully, and found that the sky remains still. This waiting, this long and trembling silence, is not a punishment but a purifying fire. It is in the furnace of waiting that the soul is refined, its rough edges softened, its hidden motives brought into light. For while the human spirit desires arrival, the divine delights in formation. What you perceive as delay is not a denial. It is the sacred rhythm by which eternity teaches patience to time. You are not being withheld from something. Something holy is being prepared within you. The soul, in its natural impatience, resists the process of refinement. It longs for answers, resolution, the end of tension. Yet it is precisely the tension that strengthens faith. Gold cannot become pure without fire, and faith cannot become steadfast without testing. When you are made to wait, you are not forgotten, you are being trusted with the discipline of endurance. The divine does not test to expose weakness, but to awaken strength. The trial is not an accusation. It is an invitation to discover what lies beyond fear, beyond doubt, beyond the fragile comfort of predictability. Those who have walked the path of waiting know it is not quiet at all. It is filled with the noise of wrestling hearts, the murmurs of uncertainty, and the constant temptation to take control. You might wake in the night and ask, why nothing moves? Why must I remain in this holding pattern? But in the unseen realm, the very delay is sculpting you. You are being taught to distinguish between your voice and his, between impulse and instruction. Waiting is not idleness. It is spiritual labor. It tills the ground of your heart until faith takes deeper root than emotion ever could. The refining fire is not meant to destroy but to reveal. When metal meets flame, the impurities rise to the surface so they can be removed. In the same way, trials bring to the surface what lies hidden within the soul: pride, fear, insecurity, dependency on human approval. You may think these seasons expose your flaws to others, but in truth, they reveal them to you. And in that revelation lies freedom. The divine cannot heal what you conceal, and he cannot strengthen what you refuse to surrender. Waiting reveals what must be surrendered so that when the blessing arrives, it does not become an idol. Refinement often takes place in obscurity. The most significant shaping of your life occurs away from the eyes of others, in the silence of your private prayers, in the solitude where only you and the Eternal converse. This is where the true work happens, when no one is watching, when no applause follows obedience, when faith continues even when it feels unseen. The waiting room of heaven is never crowded, for few are willing to stay long enough to be changed. But those who remain, who allow the flame to do its perfect work, emerge with a glow that cannot be counterfeited. Their words carry weight, their presence carries peace, and their eyes reflect eternity. Waiting transforms the way you see yourself. At first, you may define yourself by what you lack, what has not yet come, what has been taken, what remains unfulfilled. But as the refining continues, you begin to perceive that your worth is not measured by possession or outcome. It is rooted in the one who holds time in his hands. Waiting detaches you from the illusion that fulfillment lies in control. It brings you face to face with the truth that surrender is not defeat. It is the doorway to divine strength. The longer you remain in the flame, the clearer this truth becomes. That endurance is not passive, but active faith stretched across time. Sometimes the testing comes not through great trials, but through subtle monotony. The days blur into each other, prayers feel repetitive, and life seems to stand still. Yet it is in this stillness that depth is born. The soul learns to draw nourishment from what cannot be seen. It begins to hear the faint voice that was drowned out by activity and noise. The Eternal does not rush, he waits until the heart beats in harmony with his. Only then does he unveil the next step. You are not waiting for the divine to move. The divine is waiting for you to be ready to walk at his pace. There is a beauty in brokenness that the untested heart cannot know. The one who has been refined carries humility like a crown and gentleness like armor. Their victories are not loud, they are quiet triumphs of peace over panic, of faith over fear, of trust over anxiety. Refinement teaches you that real strength is not resistance but surrender. It teaches that tears can be holy, that silence can be sacred, that patience is not the absence of passion, but the proof of it. The waiting ones become those who move not by impulse but by inspiration, whose steps are measured not by fear of loss, but by trust in divine timing. Do not despise the testing, for the testing proves your authenticity. Many speak of faith, but only those who have waited long and trusted deep can embody it. The fire separates imitation from truth. Words can declare belief, but waiting demonstrates it. Every unanswered prayer becomes a witness that you love the giver more than the gift. Every moment of uncertainty becomes an altar where your will bows to his. The divine does not ask for perfection, he asks for surrender. And in surrender, you are perfected through love, patience, and trust. As the days approach their appointed hour, the refining grows more intense. You may feel as though you are being stripped of every certainty, every comfort, every anchor that once held you. Do not fear this stripping. It is not loss but liberation. What cannot endure the flame was never meant to define you. The truest parts of your being will emerge unburned, radiant, and pure. Like gold that has passed through fire, you will shine with a luster that only suffering could release. The pain you feel now is the polishing of your spirit for what is soon to be revealed. The testing is a mercy in disguise, a sign that heaven considers you worthy of transformation. If you are watching this before the 15th of October, then know this season is not accidental. The timing is exact. You are being refined so that you may stand steady when others tremble. You are being trained to discern truth when confusion spreads like mist. What feels like delay is divine calibration. The Eternal is preparing vessels who will carry light into darkened places, who will speak with authority born not from knowledge, but from intimacy. And intimacy is never learned in comfort. It is learned in the waiting, in the testing, in the furnace where you meet the one who never leaves. When you feel weary, remember that even in the silence, the refiner's eyes are fixed upon you. He does not turn away, for he knows the precise moment when the fire has done its work. He will not allow the flame to consume you, only to cleanse you. Every tear is counted, every sigh recorded, every moment of endurance woven into the tapestry of your becoming. The waiting will not be wasted. It will be sanctified. The testing will not diminish you. It will define you. And though the world may see delay, heaven sees design. You are being refined for revelation, purified for purpose, strengthened for what is coming beyond the veil of this moment. The waiting is not empty. It is holy ground where eternity touches time and teaches it to trust. There comes a time when what was hidden must be revealed, when the pattern that once seemed chaotic begins to make sense, when the long night yields to the first trembling light of dawn. You may not know it yet, but every unseen struggle, every delay, every prayer whispered in secret has been shaping the architecture of your destiny. The unveiling of purpose is not a sudden event. It is a gradual awakening. The moment when what has been silently growing within you meets the appointed hour decreed by eternity. If you are watching this before the 15th of October, understand that this is not coincidence, it is alignment. The calendar of heaven moves with precision, and you have been carried by it toward this very threshold. Purpose does not appear as a flash of brilliance, but as a series of gentle recognitions. It reveals itself in glimpses, small nudges of intuition, quiet confirmations, moments where everything feels connected though you cannot yet name why. The unveiling often begins in obscurity. You sense that something is shifting within you, that what once satisfied no longer does, that the familiar places no longer fit. This restlessness is sacred. It is the first sign that destiny is waking within you, stretching its limbs after a long slumber. The divine does not shout purpose into the soul, he whispers it. And only those who have learned to listen in silence can discern it. The unveiling of purpose follows the rhythm of preparation. Just as a seed must die before it breaks through the earth, so too must your old self fall away before you can step into what was promised. You were not waiting for purpose to come. It was waiting for you to become. Every test, every disappointment, every unanswered question was chiseling away what could not carry the weight of your calling. The unveiling is not the creation of something new. It is the revelation of what has always been there. The Eternal wrote your purpose long before you drew your first breath, and time has merely been the process of uncovering it. When the appointed moment arrives, it will not need announcement. It will recognize you as you recognize it. You will not have to force it, chase it, or prove it. The doors that once resisted you will open of their own accord, not because you finally became worthy, but because you finally became ready. Readiness is not about ability, it is about alignment. You can only see clearly when your heart, mind, and will have been refined through patience. The unveiling of purpose is like the lifting of a veil in a dimly lit room. The light was always there, but your eyes needed time to adjust to its brightness. Many mistake delay for denial because they cannot see the hidden timing behind the veil. Purpose moves on the rhythm of divine seasons, not human urgency. There is an appointed time for every unfolding, and that timing is mercy. If your purpose were revealed too early, it would crush you. If it were revealed too late, it would decay. But when it arrives at the precise moment, it completes the circle between divine intention and human readiness. The waiting was never empty. It was filling you with the strength to carry what you ask for. The unveiling is not the end of the journey, but the beginning of true stewardship. At the moment of unveiling, what was confusing will suddenly make sense. The people who left, The doors that closed, the delays that broke your heart, all will align like pieces of a once fractured mosaic. The pain that once seemed random will reveal its purpose as preparation. The tears you thought were wasted will be seen as the water that nourished your growth. Every dark night will testify that light was being formed in secret. The unveiling brings clarity, not through new answers, but through new sight. You will realize that nothing was lost, only transformed. You will see that purpose is not a destination, but a revelation of identity. You were not meant to find it. You were meant to remember it. The appointed time does not come with noise, but with recognition. You will feel a divine stillness before it arrives, a peace that surpasses logic, as if heaven itself takes a breath. Those who have eyes to see will notice the subtle signs, synchronies, confirmations, the quiet sense that time itself has become attentive. Purpose does not descend like a storm, it unfolds like dawn. Its light does not blind, it warms. You will not need to convince others of what is happening, for the fruit of your preparation will speak for itself. Those who doubted your process will see the manifestation and understand that every hidden season was sacred. Do not think that unveiling means ease. When purpose is revealed, responsibility increases. The same light that exposes your calling will also illuminate the places that must remain surrendered. The unveiling is not an end. It is a beginning of a higher stewardship. Many desire revelation, but are not ready for the weight that comes with it. Purpose is not for display, it is for service. When heaven reveals your assignment, it expects obedience, not applause. Those who have truly been prepared will not boast, they will bow. They will understand that what is unveiled through them is not theirs to claim, but theirs to carry. Purpose is not ownership, it is partnership with the eternal. Sometimes the unveiling of purpose comes quietly, without any dramatic sign. You may wake one morning and realize that what once terrified you now feels natural, that what once confused you now feels inevitable. The pieces fall together, not with force but with flow. The divine orchestration becomes visible, and you see that every detour, every heartbreak, every moment of doubt was necessary. The path was never random, it was exact. The pain was not wasted, it was woven. The unveiling reveals that even your weakness was part of the plan. For only through brokenness could you become transparent enough for divine light to pass through. For those who have been waiting, wary of the silence, this is the turning of the page. The days approaching the 15th of October carry a particular gravity, a sense of divine coordination. Heaven's timeline is converging with Earth's awareness. You may not fully grasp it now, but you will sense it, the invisible alignment between what has been promised and what is about to appear. You are being drawn into your appointed time. The dreams you thought were dead are stirring again because it is finally their season. What was buried is not gone. It was only planted. And the soil of suffering has been rich enough to produce the harvest now ready to emerge. When the veil lifts, your perspective will shift entirely. You will no longer see your journey as a collection of disconnected trials, but as a continuous thread of divine design. The moments of loss will appear as sacred exchanges. The times you felt abandoned will be revealed as seasons of preparation. The unveiling brings understanding that changes not just what you see, but how you see. You will understand that purpose is not a task you perform, but a being you embody. It is the revelation of why you were shaped the way you were, why you felt drawn to what others ignored, why your wounds carry wisdom others need. You were never random, you were chosen with precision for this time. As the unveiling unfolds, the world around you may not change instantly, but your inner world will transform completely. You will begin to see opportunities where you once saw obstacles, divine patterns where you once saw coincidence, guidance where you once felt confusion. The light that was hidden behind the veil will illuminate your path one step at a time. You will not receive the full map, only the next step, because purpose is revealed progressively to those who walk faithfully. Each act of obedience unveils the next layer. The journey becomes sacred, not because of where it leads, but because of who you become along the way. When the appointed time arrives, it will feel both familiar and new, as though you are returning to a place you have never been, but always belonged to. The veil will lift, and you will see that the divine was never distant. He was within you, guiding each step, weaving purpose through every breath. The unveiling is not an external revelation. It is the awakening of your true self to the eternal pattern that has been waiting for your recognition. What is about to unfold will not merely change your circumstances, it will reveal your identity. And in that moment, you will know that everything before it was preparation for this unveiling. The moment where heaven's intention meets your becoming,